I can see that most Zambians are beginning to believe me after the recent scandal of a prophetess who was found with the skeletons, or we can't even say the corpse, because it's a corpse when the flesh and the bones and the carcass are still holding on together. But when the flesh has decomposed, when the flesh has completely been, disassociated with the carcass, with the bones, it's no longer a corpse. It's now a skeleton. This has shocked most Zambians. And most of them have been calling me an agent of the devil. They've been labeling me as an antichrist, someone who is fighting the church of God, someone who is fighting the men of God. But I put this upon you. I just want you to understand this. I'm here for you. I am your true and only brother in Christ. I'm just here trying to save you from falling into the traps of men and women who have gone to consult witch doctors, men and women who have gone to consult the dark forces of Benin. There's nothing I stand to benefit in all that I'm doing. I just want you to go back to true worship of Christ, not submission to these principalities. All African prophets are principalities. And I say this without fear. I say this without any iota of doubt. All African prophets are principalities. They have all done rituals to become these elements of darkness, to become these so-called spiritual fathers that they claim to be. Most of you think they are prophets. They are not. They are ritualists. They just use the prophetic title to lure you into their shrines. And in your ignorance, desperation, and vulnerability, you fall into their cheap gimmicks. And at the end of the day, you get spiritually bound to their covenants that they signed up with the dark lords of Benin. In Zambia alone, I'll say this with confidence, we don't have a single prophet. We don't even have a prophet in Zambia. They are all ritualists. They're all witch doctors. They're all doing rituals. All their shrines are built upon the blood sacrifices of either their family members or even their church members. Follow them at your own risk. But I'm just telling you this, not because I want you to be driven away from God or from the things of God, but I want you to be closer to Christ, not to your spiritual fathers. These men you call your spiritual fathers are elements of darkness. They are being used by the devil. They do not have anything of God in them. But I don't blame Zambians. They do love witchcraft a lot. Because I don't see a reason why you should be following any prophet. I don't see a reason why you should be following any spiritual father. I don't see the reason why you should be having any father in the Lord, when the Bible clearly states that Christ is the only way. Christ is the only truth. You don't need any other man between you and God except Christ. So every time you submit under any mortal, anytime you submit under any spiritual father, under any father in the Lord, just know that you are denying Christ. Just know that you are distancing yourself from Christ. And if you are true Christ lovers, and if you are true disciples of Christ, you will dismiss any man who comes as a spiritual father in your life. You will dismiss any man who comes as a father in the Lord in your life. You don't need to submit under anyone. You only have to submit under Christ. If you are a true believer. So my Zambians, my fellow Zambians, my country people, I call you all my country people because I don't believe in all these borders. Do not fall prey to these witch doctors. Don't fall prey to these native doctors. The story of this prophetess is just a tip of the iceberg. There is a lot going on behind the scenes. A lot. That I don't think you are yet ready to know. So I'm very economical with the things that I tell you. But be rest assured, I'm here for you, not against you. Do not follow these men. You are setting yourselves up. You're setting your families up. You're binding yourselves to some spiritual covenants that you are not aware of. Don't follow spiritual fathers. Don't follow prophets. To be specific, don't follow any men that come in the name of being a prophet. Don't. Capital letter D, capital letter O, capital letter N, capital letter T. Don't. Do you hear me? Don't. And please, can you download my book? Download The Dark Lords of Benin. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you to download it. It's not good for me, it's good for you. It's going to reveal to you certain things that you've been unaware of. There's a reason why it is being fought so hard by your spiritual fathers. There's a reason why your spiritual fathers are constantly discouraging you to consume the information in the Dark Lords of Benin. Please download it. If you're a true disciple of Christ, if you really want to know, if you care so much about your spirituality or your spiritual journey, download the Dark Lords of Benin. There are things that you will discover in this testament that will give you an entirely different perspective of African prophets. The men that you bow down to, the men that you follow, the men that you submit to, are not really who they claim to be. They are something else far different from what you have accepted them to be. So give it a chance. You won't regret it. I promise you, you will not regret it. And I urge you one more time, don't follow any prophet. This kind of the prophetess is nothing. The rest of the prophets in Zambia, the ones who claim to be prophets in Zambia, they've done more than what this prophetess has done. Just a skeleton of a husband, just one husband. It's nothing. If we truly had, good leaders, I would call upon them to do a thorough investigation. If it was possible, if they could dig down the foundations of all the shrines in Africa, all the prophetic shrines in Africa, you realize that they are actually sitting on mass graves. The majority of prophetic shrines are built on mass graves. Beneath them are multiple skeletons. Multiple skeletons. For that is the only way you can sustain a covenant that you make with the devil. The devil is very, very manipulative. He will dangle all the sweetness of the world. He will dangle the wealth, the money, the fame, the power in your face. And he will make you bow down before him. And once you bow down, prior to you bowing down, he doesn't make his demands clear. It's only after you've already signed up a covenant with him, then you understand the depth or the dangers lurking beneath the surface of the covenant you would have signed up for. And all African prophets have signed up for these Faustian bargains. They have sold their souls to the devil. All for fame, all for spiritual power, all for wealth, for riches. But the price that they are paying now, the price that they are paying now to sustain those covenants, because the covenants from the devil can only be sustained with blood sacrifices. Most of them have sacrificed their mothers, their children, their family members, and the sacrifices even overspilled to sacrificing their own church members. So if you don't want to be sacrificed, if you want to preserve your sanity yourself, download the Dark Lords of Benin, and you'll be awakened, you'll be wiser.